Inhabitants of the arid and semi-arid lands of Kenya suffer from the ever-increasing array of both natural and man-made shocks that severely affect their productive and sustainable livelihoods that relegates a majority of the population to a state of hopelessness.
ASALs of Kenya make about 84% of Kenya's land surface. They support about 8 million Kenyans, 50% of the livestock and 65% of the wildlife population is found in these areas. But also in the ASALs have some of the poorest segments of the population, and they are trapped in an environment which is plagued by drought and other hostile features.
With increasing frequency of drought, floods and climatic-related disease epidemics, these areas are usually coupled with unfavorable socio-economic trends. Underdeveloped infrastructure highlights the predicament facing Kenya's ASAL populations and institutions concerned with their welfare for development. However, the ASAL inhabitants' endurances have not gone unnoticed. The government of Kenya, under the Ministry of Livestock Development, has been developing the capacity of the ASAL communities to prioritize their needs and manage their own development, as well as mitigate against the effects of adverse weather through broadening of their livelihoods with funding from the African Development Fund.
The government of Kenya, in partnership with the African Development Bank, priorities some strategies to develop the ASALs in line with government development strategies and also with the bank's priority strategy on poverty reduction. So the project, the ASAL-based Livestock and Rural Livelihood Support Project, is anchored on the strategies of both the government and of the bank.
This program targets 32 districts, but because of expansion of districts, it is now covering 55 districts countrywide. We have seen a lot of impact on community activities throughout the 55 districts.
Through arid and semi-arid lands-based livestock and rural livelihood project, significant capacity building of community groups have developed mechanisms to cope with key livelihood issues. To improve community livelihoods, drought management and food security initiatives in these ASAL areas, ALPRO project focused on supporting community-based, demand-driven initiatives.
We have been able to fund over 806 groups, community micro-projects, with a total funding of over 220 million Kenya shillings. Out of the 860 community micro-projects funded, 65% of the project have been basically involving women groups. 16% have involved youth groups, and the rest have been mixed groups, which are made of community members who are men, women, and the youth.
Beneficiaries under the community-based demand-driven initiatives received the appropriate organizational, managerial, and enterprise skills for them to benefit fully on their funded projects.
Soma wiki mzima walituambia tuandike proposal, na tulipoandika proposal ilienda through, ndo tulipata hizo pesa za grant.
We have seen in the ALPRO project areas that men and women can sit and discuss, they can integrate and come out with the livestock issues at family and community level.
One of the good things about CBDDI is that when you provided the skills to the community and they've been able to take up ownership and participate effectively in the activities that they generated through their community action plans, the most important thing there is sustainability. If you leave them, you can be sure that when you come back after the next 6 months or even 1 year, They will probably be doing the same thing, and probably some of them who have succeeded will be moving to the next activity in the community action plan. And that is something that we have been able to see from the CBDDI. The committees that we raise capacity in were able to solicit for support from other organizations other than ALPRO. They have been able to get support from Arid Lands Resource Management Project, they're able to get support from the Local Authority Trust Fund. They've been able to get support from religious organizations and other NGOs. So that instrument that was developed through ALPRO is an instrument that has opened up opportunities for them to get further support from other development institutions.
The project Community Entry Point gave a more comprehensive and more powerful participatory integrated community development approach.
Beneficiaries under ALPRO program were to be mobilized under the participatory development approaches called PICD, and then as a product of the PICD, communities were supposed to come up with community action plans, which is a statement of development priorities within each and every community where PICD is conducted.
The project has contributed significantly to increased productivity, food security and marketing through community initiatives by upgrading small stock, thus increasing their weight at maturity by over 50%, reducing time to maturity by 100%, and doubling the price at maturity, and in extraordinary cases, facilitating on value addition in milk, hides and skins, and honey processing. Group members have increased incomes in their households by replicating group activities, particularly in production of upgraded small stock.
Hiyo pesa tumepata, tumefaidika naye, tumesomesha na watoto, tumesaidiana, hata jengeana nyumba. Naona hata mwenye mgonjwa tunaendelea, tunapeleka hospitali, tunasaidia na hiyo mapato tunapata.
Tulianza na mbuzi, tulikuwa members 21 na tulikuwa na mbuzi moja. Tukaanza na hii tukapewa hii pesa ya Alibros, tukapata 1528.
Targeting CBBDI's initiatives in the project brought about higher cohesiveness of the groups in implementing their enterprises and realized high output on their projects that will go a long way to support their livelihoods.
Wakati ingine tunapanga vile tutanunua chakula ndani yetu, tuko na wagonjwa kama 11 watu ambaye wako na HIV, na hizi kuku zimetusaidia sana kwa msaada wa kukula mayai, kukula chakula namna hiyo, na pahali tumefikia tumeona msaada hiyo ikiwa mzuri.
Mavuno Self-Help Group in Malindi has transformed members who were originally subsistence mixed farmers to be milk vendors at Marafa Market Center. The group received 314,800 shillings from ALPRO and bought a deep freezer, milk cans, sufurias, milk flavors, package sealer, bicycles and other milk handling facilities. The group is operating a milk bar that is now making and selling products like mala, yogurt, farm fresh, pasteurized milk and ghee.
With the ALPRO having funded our group, we've constructed our milk bar, of which the milk bar has been of great beneficial. Our people, our local people normally come here, they take milk, they just enjoy. So that is something that has not been happening in the past.
As a development project, we are actually doing new things. CBDDI, community-based demand development initiatives, is a new thing. It's not something that has been going on within the ministry. But we did it, and I think we proved that it can succeed.
PICD training improved the functionality and reduced conflicts, perhaps making groups to be dynamic and enabled them to understand best business development practices and resource mobilization.
The uniqueness of ALPRO's PICD, Participatory Integrated Community Development, the 14 days, report writing, and community action plans have been used by other stakeholders. These are some of the unique aspects of ALPRO.
The participatory integrated community development approach was designed in ALPRO to be able to empower communities to make their own development priorities. This is against the previous investment program within the government, where the implementers, the government staff, were to decide for the community what the community was supposed to do. Against this background, PICD is supposed to empower the community so that they can decide what they want to do. And at ALPRO, we only fund what the community decide is their development priority.
Supported groups picked up very well, but key interventions in some areas are still required to realize significant changes. Many groups have been successful on the scale they are operating. However, they need to grow along enterprise commercialization mode in order to exploit their existing potentials. Jilore Agricultural Group was funded to the tune of 491,600 shillings to improve on her beekeeping activities. Naturally, members here were doing fishing for food and economic support with very little subsistence farming. Sometimes they could even engage in making local brew to supplement their earnings. ALPRO funds enable them buy Langstroth hives, harvesting kits in 58 hives colonized. They are now able to harvest honey and sell to the local market. Benefits accrued from group enterprises and other group initiatives have significantly shown that their membership in groups has progressively improved their lives and enhanced identity.
Kwa wa gharama zaidi, wakina mama tulikuwa tunahathirika na mambo mengi. Na si pia ilikuwa ni ngumu, maana kazi ni ngumu, watoto kusomesha ni shida. Sasa tulikumbana na shida nyingi sana. Sasa tuliona kama, yani tulisema acha tujaribu. Wengi wetu walitutukana wakasema tumekosa kazi, lakini mahali tumefikia sasa wanaona tulikuwa tuna malengo.
CBDDIs were successful with women enterprises, enhancing their contribution to the household livelihood and changing men's attitude toward the role and place of the women in the community. Ngwatamwana Women Group in Makueni has 22 members and would assist orphans through merry-go-round activities, but after getting 147,520 shillings from ALPRO, they went ahead to buy 10 gala bucks and 22 gala doors.
Tulikuwa na za kike 22 na ndume 10 na saa hizi zimezaana. Zile zimezaliwa ni 43 sasa. Total of 75. Tunasema round ya kwanza zenge zote tuliuza zikiwa 10. Tukapata that is 800,000. Tukanunua zingine 10 each at 3,000. Alafu pesa zenye zilibaki tukaweka kwa revolving fund, ndio tunaendelea kuzalisha hizo pesa. Alafu tunagawa kidogo, tunalipa hiyo school fees, tunangawia mwenzetu ananunua chakula na mambo mengine ya nyumbani.
Community-based credit schemes were also funded to help rural communities access microfinancing loans to support their livestock production systems and start up small businesses to increase household incomes. A group like Umoja Big in Hola, which started with a membership of 186, increased to 320 members. It was funded by ALPRO in July 2008 to the tune of 792,000 shillings. Members get soft loans of between 10,000 and 40,000 shillings to expand their businesses.
We have also supported unique projects we have supported Umoja Big, which is a rural community banking program that is community-based in Tana River, where a group of people have come up with a community bank, and we had to invest some money into that group so that they will have a revolving fund.
Tumejiwekea mikakati yetu ya kwamba mtu ni lazima alipe, na hata atakuwa hasukumi, atakuwa analipa na ile pesa yake anaweza. Kama kwa mfano, sisi tumewawekea wale wanachama wetu, anaweza kuleta kwa siku shilingi 50. Yani akifanya kazi jioni analeta shilingi 50, ili ikifikia mwisho wa mwezi ataweza kuwa amelipa loan yake na ametoa shares zake.
Wahita Jail Group in Garissa was capacity built to harness the utilization of Prosopis juliflora, locally known as madenge. The group was trained in various skills, and this has enabled them to increase their income through the Prosopis products. These products have changed the lives of the beneficiaries, who now have enough feed for their livestock and get a constant supply of milk for their homes.
To get the funds from ALPRO, we get research support from University of Nairobi and KEFRI, and when we have these two components, we go down to the communities where we mobilize them, train them on group dynamics, and transfer these Prosopis-based technologies to them so that they start producing these products from Prosopis.
We've been able to come up with the technologies for utilization of the Prosopis board as a livestock feed. And there are quite a number, some 9 communities now in the ASALs which are actually utilizing technologies that have been promoted by the project to convert the Prosopis board into livestock feed.
Tunabatia gombe, ngamia, mbuzi, wanyama ile ya kufuga yote, na inabendesha sana, na wanakula vizuri, na wananeneba mzuri. Inaonyesha hata mili yao iko mzuri sana. Na wale wafugaji wamenunua, wamefurahia sana. Huwa kila siku wanakuja kununua. Hata sisi tumepata faida kutoka hapa.
Hata gombe hii ikikula hiyo kilo 4, gombe moja hiko na msiba sana.
With the knowledge and experiences in operating in ASAL areas, ALPRO opened avenues for communities to venture into different activities that have transformed their income generation.
We have seen members of the groups that we have facilitated, or they have been funded through this project, to be able to meet their domestic requirements in terms of sending their children to school, in terms of putting up better houses for themselves, in terms of better meals for their children, and generally the health of their children and members of the family in general has improved over time.
From these milestones on empowering communities through community-based, demand-driven initiatives, beneficiaries have bounced back to the realization that their livelihoods depend on their economic and social innovations.